Good morning, Lower School, and welcome back. This week's focus is going to be about speech marks, also known as inverted commas. What are they, you might ask? Well, they're a piece of punctuation that is used in direct speech to separate spoken words or dialogue, so when two people talk to each other, from the rest of the story. Let's look at three important rules. Number one, we must always punctuate speech with speech marks, or they could also be called inverted commas, that look like this. I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. Number two, when we finish writing what the speaker has said, it must finish with a piece of punctuation. Now this could include a comma, an exclamation mark, a question, or a full stop. And number three, when there is more than one speaker, each speaker must have their own line. "Oi," shouted Ollie. "What do you want now?" sighed Sam. So as you can see, Ollie's on one line and Sam's been moved to the next one. We don't continue when someone else is speaking. Shall we have a look together at some examples? Here's our first one. "Hello, is there anyone there?" shouted Miss Coxhead. So as you can see, we've got our speech marks, or inverted commas at the beginning. What you'll also notice is that we start with a capital letter. Hello, comma, is there anyone there? And as it's a question, we need to finish with a question mark. Now the question mark, or piece of punctuation, goes before our inverted commas, shouted Miss Coxhead. Notice something else here. I haven't just said. Said can be used quite a lot, so it's always good to think of different ways people might say things. Let's take a look at the next example. "Are you okay?" asked Fred. "Yes, I'm okay. You?" replied Greg. As you can see, Fred has his own line, and so does Greg. Why is that? Well, it's because every new speaker must have a new line, and this is to make sure we know who's saying what. Now remember, we've also got our inverted commas and our piece of punctuation before the last inverted commas. So what does it look like when we're thinking about our picture and the picture that we're looking at this week? Here's some for you. Here's the picture. Can you see? There are three separate parts for this one. So I've gone ahead and written some sentences. Mum, look at me," shouted the girl. And as you can see, she shouted. And therefore, I've put an exclamation mark in, just before our inverted commas ends. And at the beginning of this piece of speech, we've got our inverted commas and our capital letter. Let's take a look at another example. This one's slightly longer because I wanted to show you something. "What is it now?" said Dad. "I'm trying to get these things done and I can't have you distracting me. Whatever it is, ask your mum." So Dad has two pieces of speech, and sometimes it's okay to split that up. "But I can't. I just want to go outside, get some fresh air and explore," the girl said as she slowly walked towards the lounge. "Why not have a think? I've put said here twice. Are there any words you would change? Pause now, have a think, and I'd like to see your answers on purple mash if you can." Did you pause? Good. So we've got "what is it now?" with a question mark. So we could change said to asked Dad, because that's what he's doing. He's asking. And down here, where it says the girl said as she slowly walked away towards the lounge, instead of said, we could have sighed, we could have muttered. There's lots of different words. Did you notice the things that we included from earlier? Let's have a look. Number 1, we must punctuate with speech marks. As you can see, I've punctuated with speech marks. Number 2, a piece of punctuation must go before the end of the inverted commas or the speech. Have I done that? Yes, I've done that. And I must remember that there always needs to be a new line for each new speaker. So there's dads and there's the girls. It's really exciting writing direct speech, having that conversation. So my challenge is, why don't you, looking at these pictures, create your own? What are they saying to each other? Are they saying things that might move the speech on or move the direction on? I look forward to seeing what you have to write for us this week. And remember, you can always share it on Purple Mash. We look forward to seeing your entries, and I shall see you next week.